before. The jail used to be bathrooms.
Did you inspect the exterior when you came to do the estimate at all? Did you have a chance to look at the exterior
Of
the jail, the old jail, just the brick building?
no, I didn't,
You didn't even bother looking at that when you
I
inspected it?
wasn't told to look at that. I was told to look at
We were just told, I mean, we can go back to the architect if you like, come back in 2 weeks. Yeah. One thing this does do is it improves your existing restroom situation, so I think that's the other, I mean, if you don't, it adds, I think, a stall on the women's side, is that right? Yeah, it takes you from 1, 2 to 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the men's side, it takes you from a stall and 2 urinals to 2 stalls and 2 urinals.
And you're leaving the fireplace, right?
Yes, everything else, I think, from the inside would be the same.
Where's the air conditioner gonna go?
From outside.
No, the air conditioner's where this door's at.
Is there an air
Yeah,
conditioner by the door?
the outside door, yeah.
It has to be moved, is that what you're saying?
Right.
I have to admit, this is not my project, I should be more knowledgeable about it, but I didn't know we had. You know what we'll do, we'll go back to Darren and ask him to give us, we'll pay him to do another rendering if you want us to try to see if we can move it to the other facility, if that's preferable to you. Probably get, a handicap stall and a regular stall, and
think
one,
so.
and a handicap stall and maybe a urinal or 2 in the other.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know the dimensions of that without actually measuring, but.
There are currently latrines in there, correct? Because it was a jail.
No, it was jail turned into bathrooms.
But I mean, do you know if the sewer line is still good to that building? And
I don't know. I'd have to check it.
that would be the other thing, is to making sure, we'd have to look at the sewer.
Utilities to it.
Because now, sewer lines are what? You pay for one at the nickel plate and they're like $4,000 to put in, so we could look at that as an option. If you feel strongly about that. We'd have to put in HVAC in that building as well, as part of this bid, right? We'd have to add there's no heating and as I understand, there's just 2 jail cells in there, right?
It's not cells.
not cells.
The jail was gone, and it was
So it's
made
just
into
an empty-
bathrooms.
And it was made into bathrooms?
Yeah, there's 2 bathrooms.
Are they 2 single unit bathrooms?
The bathroom stuff is out of it. I mean, I have to go in there and look. I don't remember how many toilets were in it.
I think there was just one each.
Was it? I
Each
can't
side,
remember.
yeah. It was divided up and there was a men's and a ladies. Lavatory and commode in both.
And it didn't have heating and cooling, you
No,
probably
that's
didn't
correct.
winterize it, you just took them down in the winter, probably.
Right, yeah.
And what's the status of the roof on that building and,
We're gonna have to do something with that building. I mean, no matter what, because it needs work done to it.
Well, Brenda, can we try to digest this in
It's
the
a lot.
in the next
Do you have any questions of the
couple of
gentleman?
weeks? I mean,
Yeah, we can come back in
we'll
2
have enough-
weeks.
Yeah, so we have time to review this. I
It's a
mean,
lot.
I know you guys are, and obviously if we move forward with this, we wanna,
Yeah, we're probably not gonna see a train operate till September 1st now.
Okay.
We just, it's been an arduous process, and,
Sure.
the financing on the rail restoration is done. Since we started this, the cost of ties went up $30,000. But, good news is, this is where it pays to have friends. Mark Brown, who's managing the project, called and begged his friend, and so he put our 4,800 ties in on an order that brought the price down. So the good news is that, at first I was like, and it's been a challenge. The bank required, I'd offer my firstborn, but he's 30 and I'm not sure you'd want him, but I mean, it was close to that, and, but we've got that in place. We should close Monday. We have a director hired, Dee Holt. I don't know if a lot of you might know her. She's from Cicero. She's very operationally focused, and so we have the trains. I'm going to go down and see them on April 23rd. They're being restored in Lebanon, Tennessee. We will open with a couple of cars, and then we'll open next year with a full fine dining experience on the car. It'll be 100 seats on the, that's been a discussion. We recognize that we would like to use your facilities some, and so we need to get those mostly, for, I don't know, for add-on meals like breakfast with Santa, and things like that. We'd love to work with you on something where town residents get to do that kind of thing. We want to make sure we are community focused. Let's see. We did not get the grant from IOTD, but Indiana Office of Tourism Development, but we were told to come back. Some other person's train got it, but that's okay. And when we wrote that grant, we literally were like, we think we're going to do this. We did get a grant to improve exhibits at the depot. So the depot has had its carpet ripped out and its walls painted in Arcadia, and we're getting ready to do exterior renovations. And we got a grant to do an exhibit in there. So when they go to the depot, there'll be something to see and do. Let's see. Right now we'll be about at 160 capacity per train. Most days it'll be 3 trains. On themey days, like ghost trains and stuff, it'll be 5 trains a day. What else? It's like so much to talk about. But we obviously would love to have restrooms for them, but we know that this is a town, this is your town first, and we understand that. We do have to comply or turn the money back in, so we have to do some sort of restroom, something. Obviously, that was part of our grant in addition to the downtown enhancements. We still need, we're going to be out of money, so we'll still need to, I was joking about a bake sale, but we'll have to do some, we want to paint your gazebo, you want to paint the gazebo, and open that fence up so that we can get into the picnic area where we put that. It was a good idea to put that sidewalk in. So, just running on Saturdays and Sundays, probably beginning September 1st with some VIP special trips and learning in the middle of August. I'd love to have started earlier, but once you take windows out of a historic train, one window, you have to take them all out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like any ADA thing, right? Where once you mess with something, you have to make everything.
Yeah.
So, poor Tom Hovack has had to redo all the good news is we'll have pretty new windows.
That work.
Yeah, that work. I'm really excited about that part, actually. I like the idea that you can open the windows in the fall. I know that sounds really silly, but we will be trucking the trains in. So the restoration, we hope, will begin in early May. We're going to invite you all out for sort of a golden spike thing, some sort of activity. The other thing is the fencing that we've been working with Robin on up here to put the trains in. We'd like to get that done as soon as possible because they're going to bring a small 50-tonner. Thank you. It's right next to her. We're going to do a push-pull operation. So we'll have a beautiful locomotive, and then we'll have this sort of 50-tonner engine, the 2 cars and a generator car, which will be a spiffed up box car with the logo on the side. These are low trains, so they don't need a loading platform or anything. The good news is we should be able to, we're going to try to look for a grant for this, make one of them handicapped accessible, which is really unheard of in our world. So that'll be a really neat addition.
Really big.
I think really exciting. The team, which is Tony Dickover, who's been amazing as board president, and this is why I'm trying to tell you way too much, but sorry, and Dee Holt and Dagny Supin, who is the communications coordinator. They fly out tomorrow to a conference in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, and so they're going to their first conference and everything. So we're working on the insurance and everything, and it's good to go, and had to get that $550,000 in to get the tracks restored, and I've never worked so hard for $550,000 in my life, really. But it's good, it's all good, and we're ready to go. But this is a lot. Totally get that, and so we will come back in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And in the meantime,
So would it be a problem for you to get somebody out there to check the jail and see?
no, I'll have Darren see if Darren can do that. We do want to tell you the one thing we'd like to do in the next, so leading up to, we're going to announce the rail restoration contract, and then we're going to announce this date, which is, by now, it's tentatively Friday, May 4th, like early afternoon is our current. Friday, May 4th, early afternoon, some sort of golden spike thing where we have people standing there looking, like a shovel thing. And then that would be, sort of kicking off the restoration. And then we wanna do signs yard signs that talk about, and vinyl window clings and things that talk about the restoration, so people are aware of it. In part, and then we're gonna do brush cutting and, weed killing. So there will be activity on the line, we just wanna let people know. The Port Authority last night voted on a bridge inspection contract, because we have to have our bridges inspected before we can run traffic, heavy stuff over it. So, I will get all this to you, and we'll see if we can get Darren out to look at that other thing and see if we can get we need to look at what the exterior needs are for that building. Do you do that type of work as well? We can talk about it. And we need to, you're right, we probably have to put a new roof on it, see if the tuck pointing's in good shape. We'd have to put an HVAC unit in, but if we could get 2 stalls in each, we could probably be okay.
This proposal here fits within the framework,
Yes.
the footprint of, okay.
Yes.
On your restoration, Brendan, I'm just curious, does that go clear to Noblesville?
It will, okay,
I know,
barring no surprises. Which, as you all know, anybody who's been in construction,
Sure.
barring no surprises, yes, it will get us pretty much to Noblesville. We might be a little bit short, and so we also want to do the siding up here, so we have some flexibility in the track, and so, there's a desire to try to put together a little bit more money, and then we have to put the good news is the trains are low, the bad news is the trains are low, so we have to have a work pit built underneath them, which of course requires drainage and things. I feel like every time we have one solution, it creates another, or one, I feel like it's an HGTV show that just doesn't end, But it's good, it's all good, it's all gonna be wonderful, and when it's done, I'm gonna cry like a baby, and you're gonna stand there, and it's gonna be awesome. It is really gonna be good, guys. The media attention on this is unbelievable. Because we've been going out to media events and shows and talking about it, so.
Cool.
Are there any other questions? We do want to, so when I come back in 2 weeks, maybe we can also talk about usage, because you're gonna have extra expenses, and part of our budget reimburses you for those expenses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or whether you want us to contract out with someone who cleans the restrooms on Saturdays and Sundays, or whether you want to if you want to own that, and then our crew, obviously our train crew will police the area before they end at the end of the day. That'll be part of their job description. We will be hiring about 20 people. Yeah, like a lot of high school kids and retired people who might just want to, work for us. Maximum hours you could probably get a weekend is 12, but still, for someone who. Okay, well, thank you all, have been wonderful and patient, and I know I've been
got a
here for a
question?
year. Okay.
We got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Will the train end here in Atlanta, or will it go to Tipton?
It will not go to Tipton. Tipton hasn't really had any money to provide for the train, and it's already been kind of expensive to get the 12 miles done, at about 40,000 a mile, and then maintenance on it will be close to 7,000 a mile. No, at this point, we will do just enough to get it safely down from Tipton at this point, and then it will run. You will be the starting point, and then Noblesville will be the termination point at this point. We're not. I understand that there are a lot of people who want to save all 37 miles, but at this point, we're just scraping up enough to get 12 miles saved. It'll be 12.03 to be exact.
It's better than that.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be great. That's still a great 2-hour dinner excursion, a little over 2 hours. The most of them will go to the depot in Arcadia and return. So that's around a 50-minute experience. So I think that's kind of a nice, as a former mother of children.
Young children.
I've got younger children. I always feel like 2 hours is a lot, but 50 minutes plus getting
Attention spans being what they are.
yeah, plus getting to go see Mr. Muffin and and walk around and I think it's a nice experience and affordable. Our price point will be like average price point of $13.50 for a standard train. And, anyhow, well, you guys have been terrific, and I recognize that this was a lot, and so study this. We'll come back in 2 weeks.
That'll give us a chance to.
Will you come back? Okay, and I'll talk to Darren about that, and email You and Robin?
Robin.
And Robin
Yeah,
about,
you know
she's at a
Robin.
band meeting, right?
Yes, she is.
I'll email Robin and
Communicate with her and she'll forward that information to us.
everything else.
I don't think so.
When your guy comes up, can you have him to meet with Andy over there on looking at that building? And so if
Okay,
Andy
we'll have him
can
do
go
that.
over
I
what-
think
if
it
he has
wasn't
any-
open at the time or
Yeah, I
something.
think it's locked up. It keeps locked and,
Okay.
in case he has any questions where utilities may come from or whatever.
We are paying
go
that
to.
guy, because people can't visualize things, so we're paying him to do a rendering of what the train's gonna look like in downtown, people getting aboard the train. People like to be able to see pictures, I like pictures. Anyhow, and we wanna stay in, I mean, not me, because, I'll gradually segue out, but the team. She's jealous because I said that.
Sorry.
It took me 5 years within a complaint, I can do that. So is that they want to stay in constant contact with you. Does that make sense? It's very important that, right, that everybody
Gotta
talk.
work
and
together.
Absolutely.
Keep
make
communication
sure we-
going.
Yeah, I think that's
Good
really
partners.
important. I mean, this is huge, yeah. So, anyhow, well, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, thanks everybody.
Any other questions for Brenda while she's here from the floor? All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, Brenda.
Okay, I'll put it on my calendar.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you. Sorry you came out tonight.
Oh, it's all right.
Actually, he's a local, so that's.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Be careful.
Any other discussion regarding this evening? You know, this-
They're gonna use it for special events too. It'd be better to do it their way.
I mean, the need is going to be there.
If it's gonna be, if you're gonna be using the building for dinners or other special breakfasts and things, it probably would be better to put it in the building.
It's
If
going
they're
to
gonna-
be,
If they're gonna use them year round.
it's going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
And when I say cleaner, just as far as.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Appearance. Yeah.
Appearance, functioning. I mean,
One thing they left off here, you think about, is with that door, going out back to the playground, we could put some kind of sidewalks around there. Or for it to be, wheelchair accessible.
The one drawing here, they have this, some kind of partition or whatever, and it goes out the side door. Rather than move the air conditioner and stuff, why not do that?
Yeah,
And
but
you
then
can
you're
continue
limited,
that
but-
path from the gazebo.
No, then
You're
they'd be
right over
going
to it.
in the building itself.
Well, yeah, you're limiting the use of the building too with that gate deal.
Yeah, you're trying
Yeah, that's
to
true.
limit
Versus-
access to the building just
versus
out of
the
the
other one.
restrooms. That's why you
Versus they can
access.
lock the
Well, I mean,
interior
I'm saying
doors
it's the
and
same
have the
thing. There's an exterior access both ways.
exterior access on
With
it.
just using an existing door versus moving an air
The one
conditioner.
But you
there by
limit-
the men's room.
Yeah, but you limit the rest of the building,
Yeah.
Yeah,
by doing
You
it
cut
that
off
way.
the fireplace and.
yeah.
And
No,
then,
that's true.
But on the first plan there, I think you'd wanna move that men's room, bathroom door over, that interior one. 'Cause every time the door opens, you'll be watching someone pee.
We decide to put these on the inside, what are we gonna do with the jail? Just leave it there, or?
We're gonna have to do something with it, I saved all these,
Tear it
I
down, or-
wouldn't tear it down, it's a historic site, I've saved all these bricks from the project to fix that, and put that roof back the way it was, that roof had a parapet around it. Before they built that roof, it's over it,
How big is it?
And I think the bars
Jail?
are still in the.
behind the window,
They
yeah,
are.
they are, they're not, the cell bars aren't there
No,
anymore, but the
the window
windows,
bars are
they're
still
there.
Yeah.
So just.
That building is probably, I don't know, 14 or 16 by 16, it's square.
Yeah.
It's a square building. Something in there.
You said that it was used for bathrooms?
When I was a kid, the bathrooms.
It was actually a jail here.
It was a jail.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it was used for
VA.
bathrooms.
It was,
Train robberies and have
so
the jail.
probably,
Well, I was just
Wouldn't-
thinking, could you turn it into an attraction and make it a revenue generator for the people that are coming in on the train? I mean,
We probably could.
Haunted
Jail.
jail, haunted jail at
do a
Thanksgiving, or
haunted jail, even
Halloween.
better, Pam.
I'd like to be the church.
History of how many people from Atlanta's been in it.
but yeah, I mean, these are all things that, hopefully by the next meeting, Cause we're gonna need it. I mean, the train's gonna run.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be,
And if they're gonna tear up the cement, it easy just put the air conditioner on different area. Something to think about.
this is. Any other questions? Comments? About this? Okay, let's move on in old business. You have in front of you an estimate tonight for the repair of the backstop. I think John contacted Hendershot. And there's an estimate here in the amount of $4,904.41 for that repair. That consists of two 24-foot posts, 4-inch posts, and miscellaneous fittings. And then 10 feet of 9-inch galvanized wire.
Don't you think we should have put bigger posts in? Ain't very big posts.
I haven't measured them, Andy, but I believe that's what's in there now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, he just come down and looked at it,
Sure.
and I don't know what gauge posts are. So
Yeah.
they could be, 4-inch, but they might be a thicker gauge steel for backstop, for being 24 foot high.
9 gauge, oh no, it's wire.
Yeah, it's 9 gauge wire post. I don't know what gauge, but they're thicker pipe. I did call K&K Fence and
Glidden?
no, it wasn't Glidden, it was K&K and AAA Fence Company. And AAA never returned a call back, and K&K wanted pictures and said that they would take a look at the pictures. I sent them up there, didn't even want to send nobody out, and he said, I don't even know if we can do it.
Okay.
So when he made that comment, we had this, and I'd like, I didn't think this is going to be anywhere. I think we're going to beat this, and when they were telling me they don't even think they can do the job, I didn't want to waste taking time to wait on another estimate from there. So that's the reason I just got this one.
Sure. And obviously, the sales tax on this invoice will not be included, we're tax exempt.
Yeah.
I'm sure their software program just automatically plugs that in when they do an estimate, so you're looking at it.
This is the price of taking the old posts out.
Yeah.
Getting an auger out there and
Yeah,
taking all that out.
They'll
moving
replace.
it in.
Yeah, they'll replace it and straighten it back up in place as is.
I mean, I don't know much about all that stuff, but it seems to me like it's an awful lot of work to be done, and I think
Well, and
$300, that seems pretty reasonable to me, I don't know.
When you're talking 20 feet in the air, that's the thing. When you're stretching that chain link fence and, doing fence work 20 feet in the air, it kicks the prices up pretty quick.
And that's the reason the labor figure is that high. I mean, that's pretty labor intensive. Yes.
Plus we're gonna have to have a lift.
Right.
Did they give you an estimate as to how soon they could start on this,
He
or
said
they
they could.
waiting on us?
He said they were booked up until May. So in May. Here's
Maybe the weather will be better to work in,
Here's
right?
here's the cover sheet if you want to take a look at that. That's he sent that to me in an email, and I forwarded it to Robin, and she just printed off the estimate. She didn't print off the cover sheet, but that there is basically we accepted the contract and explaining some things in a little bit more depth there on that part of it. I got a call from Andy earlier today and before the meeting, and he said he come by there and there was some people trying to get in out there. And just as he was telling me,
That was the people, but I didn't know.
Ryan called me just as soon as Andy, I don't know, up off the phone was Andy, and Ryan called and said that it was one of their teams was out there trying to practice and the gate was locked.
I went out.
So I had Andy went out and unlocked it for him. So we need to check, don't know if Robin has heard anything on the keys or anything. Well, there she is. We'll find out shortly.
I need to go back out the door.
It's an easy answer.
Let there be
Right.
I was just about to fall asleep.
Did you hear about ball diamond keys?
No, Manny said he was gonna follow up. I'll ask him again.
So they're wanting the 2450
Down there.
down to get, to start the project. They want half done down, right? Start the project if we decide to accept
What's
this
that?
bid.
No, they're like $68 a piece.
70 piece.
Yeah, say $70 a piece.
That's what that's saying there, but I don't, yeah, we contacted them, we wanted to do it. Just paying for this cover sheet that, and they got a little bit more explanation in it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to
Yeah.
talk to them.
Yeah, okay.
It would depend on how many you wanted to reissue. We initially got 12 before, which I have one. We kept it when we were putting them in to test them. But that would be, so for us to recore and rekey, it's gonna cost us about $750.
I think we just need to have Manny follow up.
He needs to tell them the price too. That, I mean, that's not labor, that's just the parts.
Right. That's us,
Yeah, that's us doing it.
I mean, pretty simple system.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah,
principle of
yeah, that's just for the parts and the keys. Yeah, because what it is, there's the gate. I got locks for the electrical panels, one for the shed, so it's 4 padlocks, and it's 4 doors. So it's the concession stand, the 2 bathrooms, and the equipment room. Yeah.
Well, first
Well, let's move on this backstop.
I make a motion to accept it.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. John, they can proceed with that, repair.
Okay, I'll give them a call tomorrow and get us on the schedule.
And then, if we don't hear anything, if we don't get some, if we don't get the keys back, I guess what I'm trying to say, we need to look at recording that down there. And that's, I know that's expensive, but that's one of the beauties of a best access system. I mean, it takes all of 10 seconds to pop a cord out and put a new one in. I mean, it is the
And if we reissued keys, can we charge deposits on them to defray the cost of rekeying them?
Do like the courthouse does. If you lose your key there, depending on the key you have, you have to pay to rekey the entire building. Depending on what level access key you have. But if you have a key if you have a master key in the courthouse and you lose it, you're paying to rekey the whole building.
But that wouldn't have solved our problem with the people just walking away with them.
It goes back to the
So-
key card. I honestly don't think if you can't take the time to come in here and sign a damn key card and get a key, you don't need one. I mean, you know, we handed out 11 keys.
Yeah.
And we don't even know who got them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so at least when you come in here, Robin can write their information down or Xerox their driver's license, but we got the key card that you put your information on.
But how do we get the money from them with that kind of system?
Or give them a paper that says if you lose this key, it's, you know, there's gonna be a charge. The key itself is $17.50.
Right, but the
And
cord,
the cores are about $70 a piece.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, they should know that it's expensive.
Well, that's one of the things too, you know, in this contract, which I haven't gotten with Ryan to even start looking at a new contract, but that'd be something in there, we could make them pay it down, deposit of what it would cost, $700 is what it would cost, as a deposit that we did get the keys back if they ever decide to go somewhere else or whatever, and then we'll refund that deposit back to them after the keys are all turned in and everything. Something, we could put something like that in there to kind of cover us, so that the things that's happened, this other issues won't happen again.
Yeah, we've got to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, our lesson learned as far as I'm concerned, and I'm gonna try not to see it happening again, so I wanna try to go over everything, you know, fine tooth comb to make sure that we're all covered, so that.
I had, while we're talking about baseball, I had one other thought. with those dugouts, are this group that's gonna be coming in and practicing, are they going to be in those dugouts? I know there was concern about,
I'll tell you what,
The
my
nails.
Hendershot's here, you need to have them fix the fence on the real dugouts. Cause they tore that off and, you know, a kid could fall off into the dugout. You know, on the little field, on the girls' field, they took the fence off of it.
They're down there now.
No, man. But I'm saying Hendershot, just to hire Hendershot to fix the backstop, you need to have them put the fence back on. I mean, it can't be that much while they're here, to put the fence back on the little the in-ground dugouts.
Do we have fencing that, or would we have to buy
Boys
new
baseball,
fencing?
they took the,
Yeah, they took it off. So you.
The in-ground dugouts over in that small field,
Yep.
they took the fence off the front
Yes.
of the dugouts, so it's
Yes.
wide open to the field.
Wide open.
I didn't see that, I didn't even know that was done.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. When he started, Fred started talking about dugouts, it made me think of it. So.
You know, that definitely needs to be fenced
They
back
need to
on,
be-
somebody hit
yeah.
a foul ball over into them dugouts.
Well, to
man,
fall
just
off the
gonna-
edge. I
Yeah.
mean, because you walk past that
Well,
edge,
both.
if the kid's not paying attention,
Both.
they could fall, hurt their ankle or anything. Yeah, they took the hand. I can't remember if it's off both of them. One of them, the handrail's off, but yeah, the fence is off the
The
dugout.
fence there, it just needs to be put
The
up.
fence is gone. I mean, I've got fence at the water plant. So I mean, if it's the fence, we have fence that we put on. We don't have the associated hardware, but I mean, Hendershots would. But you ought to say something to them and get that thrown on. I mean, it can't be, I don't know, $300-400 or something. But it needs to
Shouldn't be too
fixed.
much to stretch a piece of fence back there. The post
Right.
still there and everything, or did they remove the post?
Some of it's gone. I would have to go back out and look at it. Because one had a bar through the middle. I think one may still have the bar, and the other one, the bar is gone. But it's been last fall since I was out there, so I had to go back out and look at it again. But they're open.
You got chain link type fence?
Yeah, that's what was
yeah,
on it.
that's
Yeah,
what
I got.
goes on.
Yeah, I got the fence that would go on it.
I have no idea why they do that. That's just crazy. I can do that if the council wants to approve that to be added. I mean, we gotta repair
I
it
make
anyway.
a
but-
motion, let it be added.
I'll second
with
that
the
motion
chain link
to repair the
in
fence in
front of the,
front of the dugouts.
yeah,
all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right, is there any other old business from the floor tonight?
Anything about Endeavor's reimbursement from the bond? I know there had been some,
I sent a letter to the company.
Okay.
Last week, before, last week, and haven't.
Nothing yet.
So
Gotta
Jennifer's
go through.
working on getting a festival sponsorship from them.
and what about the property by the water plant? I know we tabled that.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about that.
Well, I think we need to do it. I was looking at it. I need to get a hold of Steve Brock, but, and see if he agrees with the way I think we should do it, but we need to do it. We can take it out of, depreciation and then probably start paying depreciation back every month. I just wanna see. I think we should do it and we can. I just wanna get a second opinion of Steve Brock, make sure that what I'm thinking is the best way to do it.
Brock said the best way to do it would be to borrow the money from ourselves.
Which is what we would be doing, we would borrow it from the
And pay yourself
depreciation
back.
fund and then spend it back in there.
Because he said that way, there's no loan, there's no bond council, there's no nothing. It's just all done internally.
We're not gonna be able to get reimbursed on the stuff from utility pipe now, are we? We are, I thought
I
that,
got it all worked out.
okay, that makes me feel better if we can, because the way Jim Frizzell was talking, we were like maxed out.
I'm waiting on the last number. I got another between $15,000 and $18,000 coming, which will be enough to buy a locator, some hydrant tools, and get that material money back.
Well, that makes me feel better then, cause we've spent about 6,600 with utility pipe for this project, and so we're kinda upside down, not upside down, but right now, we're spending more out of water than what we're putting in, so.
Have they sent you the final? He probably hadn't sent you to it, cause I haven't seen it. Try it. We're gonna have between 15,000 and 18,000 more dollars left over here when it's all said and done, besides that 800, so we'll have enough money.
Okay, did you look at that PBR amendment by any chance? Was it local? Okay.
Yep.
Cause I just need to have you sign that, you guys already approved it.
That's good news.
All right, the property, out of the water plant. Do I hear a motion that the town proceed with purchasing that?
I make a motion, town proceed with purchasing it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any other old business? Okay, we'll move on to new business this evening. New business tonight. Liz?
I just wanna bring up the Northern Hamilton County Chamber's Midwest Rail Fest
Okay.
that they're planning, for the poster for June 23rd here in Atlanta.
6:23.
We were of course planning to have the train running by then, but it looks like we'll just have the 50-tonner here, the switcher, on display and possibly a caboose. The Mona Historical Society donated a Mona caboose,
Okay.
so that'll be here. And just coordinating with Robin and Jennifer as far as timing and electricity. I know Andy will have to work with you and Murray. Food trucks and things like that
Oh,
for power.
Be similar to last year?
Similar, might be a little bit bigger. We have more people interested in coming.
Good.
We have the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society. They're the ones that restored the 765 steam engine. They want to have a presence here. The Nickel Plate Historical Society wants to have a presence, and then we have a lot of other groups that want to display, as well as food vendors and activities for kids. So one of the things we might like to do differently this year is possibly put barricades up and charge admission, which we didn't do before, but they're thinking that they would like to do that, so I'll have to work on more details on that. So, with everyone's permission, we would really like to take over the town again on June 23rd. So, put us on the map for another event. No booze this time, no beer, no wine garden.
Yeah.
That was just too much work for little return, so. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a problem with
I
that.
think we approved the date in a previous meeting, didn't we?
I think so.
If I recall, yeah. So, yeah,
That's kind of our update, so.
okay. Good.
Keep
Awesome.
posted.
Be here before we know it.
Well,
All right, any other new business this evening? Okay, I'd like to, someone like to make a motion to sign the claims and adjourn the meeting?
I'll move that we make, sign the claims and adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.